anyways, you can take images. And since the emulator doesn't actually know which way is up, the image is tilted the wrong way. But that's an emulator thing and not actually an actual problem. Additionally, I tried to make this actually save the photo to the device, although I ran into some some problems where the image was saved in the local directory and the photo app didn't have permissions to read it. So I tried storing it publicly, but that didn't work. So it's probably pretty easy to fix if you know what you're doing. But yeah, and of course the most important of all. I'm guessing that's only really fun if you play the game, but let's find the virtual sensors. Yeah, so I also made a pretty simple sound effect, visual effect. I don't really know how to do a lot of visual effects apart from like particle effects and the overlapping transparent images rotating over each other. Usually how smoke is done in games, or often how smoke is done in games, like 2D at least. So it's just doing this. I think it's a little hard to see on the thing, but it's moving. And using the like sensors, the accelerometer to be specific, you can pitch shift the sound. So when you move it around, it pitch shifts the sound so that it's more intense when you move it quickly. That works a lot better with the actual laptop. So these are the same, just a different color schemes. Yeah. So I just want to do this with the actual app because it sounds so much better when you actually have movement. Whoop. Nice.
That's max. Can you?
It's maxed?
Yeah.
What? It's maxed here as well. Why is it so much lower from the tablet? Okay. Okay, never mind then. That's what it does. Yeah, I don't really have a lot more. It's just a bunch of sound effects. It's a soundboard. So, yeah.
Cool. You're not done yet, right?
Huh?
You're not done yet, right?
I'm done.
We ask you questions, probably.
Oh, yeah, do you have questions? Are there any questions?
So what was the hardest part?
I remembered clearly what the hardest part was right after the jam, but now I forgot. I wrote it in the report. I think the photos thing, trying to figure out storing the photos to exporting them to the devices like gallery. Was probably the hardest part because I don't really know how it works, and it involved a bunch of elements that I hadn't used before of Android. So like the sensor thing was easy. I could just copy like the general structure from the lab 3, the sensor lab from the mobile development course, which was already pretty easy. I mean, there's nothing advanced there. So I just made a class with that, did that, created some general sensitivity between like 1 and 0, and then multiplied that by some sensitivity multiplier, and then sent that to the soundboard. So what it's actually doing is it's altering the tempo of the sound effect. It's not actually pitch shifting it, but since the sound is continuous, it's like the same sound going continuously and looping. It doesn't really matter because you won't notice that the tempo changes, even though it does. If you would have something like a voice line, it would sound very bad. Yeah. But that's the easiest way to do it. And since I didn't need more functionality than that, I just used the sound pool instead of the fully fledged media player that's available, because it's just smaller. I mean, it's not smaller; it inherits from media player, but it's a more friendly interface. Yeah.
So you didn't use any specialized library for sound processing or anything like this?
No, I just used the Android sound pool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you have any issues with latency because you're linking to the sensors? Did you notice anything that you actually need to?
Is it laggy?
No, it's responsive. I'd say. Like there is some like it doesn't happen immediately, but I don't know if that's from the acceleration not like building up quickly enough. But I haven't really noticed any like latency or ever like commented on it. So I'd say it's responsive. You can play with it if you want. So.
Right.
Yep.
Interesting. Very
Sounds
creative.
good. Thanks.
Cool. Thank you. So who's next? There you go. Over.
We have
one solar damage and one,
okay.
and one jump together.
So 3 presentations. Woohoo!
Right, that's the next half an hour. Okay.
Okay.
So I wanted to learn some networking in Unity. It was interesting to work with the API because it's very high level. So it's more of a battle to kind of bend to their
Model.
Yeah. But you can actually go lower level, which I discovered like last day or something. So, but it's a fighting game where you can choose a character. This actually was kind of hard because you have to override some networking if you want different player prefabs. So I can go the green one because I think Nikolai here is the other guy. So here's the this is the game. You can do some moves. There's sound too. It doesn't seem to work, or it's kind of just some
Very
slap
modern.
sounds and some swooshing when you're not hitting. Yeah. Maybe you can kill me. Yeah,
Take some time.
so that's basically the experience. It's very buggy if you kind of host on this level and then someone tries to connect to the other level. It kind of just gets wonky. You can't actually get to the main menu either by using this because I just use the built-in GUI. So yeah, it's work in progress.
There is no discovery. You have to type the IP address, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's also an issue. But yeah, so there's no actual like server networking. It's just local because I don't host it anywhere. Also, the server is bound to the client, so you need to be a player to be a server, which is kind of bad too. But
Right.
it's the first time I did this, and it was kind of very new.
But you only have one player being a server, or both are
Yes,
servers?
one
only one.
server.
Yeah.
So it's like a client server
Yeah.
next to the clients.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's the solo jam.
Cool. So more interestingly, I think what are the lessons learned if anyone else wants to do that, right?
Yeah.
So what would you suggest?
So,
Okay, how do you? What is what?
The most
Yep.
important thing is knowing about his local player and his server, which are two variables in network behaviors. So that's kind of their normal behavior, but networked. Those are kind of important to just get the feel for. Like, for example, when you're dealing with player input on players, it's actually sending player input to everyone. But you just say if it's not a local player, you don't send the input. It's pretty simple if you just kind of take your time and
Understand the model?
also, that's the main thing. Using the networking manager and GUI is pretty nice to just get things going and stuff.
Sure.
And maybe trying to go lower if you need to later, because there's a lot of things just built in.
Is there support for discovery in principle?
But
For discovery, for network discovery. So for so that for example your machine logs into a network and all the possible hosts are listed, so you could just for the principle. Is there?
I think you can. I think that's actually built in. I didn't check that because I just wanted local.
Yeah.
Because hosting it is kind of.
Well, I mean, what I mean is still on the local network, right? So you could have 5 machines here, 2 of them decide to be hosts, right? So and then you just scan and present them as opposed to typing the IP address.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Right.
Actually.
But that could be a good extension for your next gem in the area.
Because right now you have to kind of IP config and just use
Yeah,
the
yeah.
IP.
Yeah.
You could also use like a virtual one, like a bulb or something else. Although a bulb is going under, so you're kind of fucked.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Then
So our channel we had together.
yeah. We wanted to learn some AI.
Well, we were working with just a simple state machine because we just wanted to have kind of simple reflex agents, kind of, but that they would make some decisions. I can see way too well here.
You can maximize on play mode.
Yeah, I guess. Unity might have crashed. I don't know.
So there's an ecosystem in this level where you have grass that spawns apples, and you have 3 types of animals: carnivore, omnivore, and herbivore.
Okay.
So the herbivore will search out for apples when they're hungry, and every animal has some stats like movement speed and like their perception. They also need to sleep. So if they don't sleep, their perception is reduced. We wanted this to be like sustainable, where the agents could mate and kind of create some blended stats.
Yeah.
We didn't get that far because state machines, we kind of use the state machine to branch states. So we sent all the variables to the state machine and let the state machine kind of decide where to go. That turned out to be a really bad idea because there's no abstraction of states. The state machine makes them. So it was kind of impossible to debug.
Well, so here's our just randomly generated level.
Nice.
I don't remember the colors exactly. I think red ones are
Those are
carnivores. Yeah, and you see they're attacking.
and they attack by collision.
Yeah.
So if they don't kill the animal, they will push them off the level, which is kind of sad side effect. But
Cool.
yeah, we didn't get that much into the actual like combat system.
Yeah.
But they're kind of just increase in density and do the punch, and then they try again. So there's a kind of physical aspect to it.
Cool. Like you see there, they drop.
Is that bits of flesh that's
Yeah,
left on the
kind of-
That's so cool.
It's very hateful.
Wow.
So eating each other, okay.
Yeah.
So the green ones there are like plant food for the herbivores.
Yeah, so they were red. So we refer to them as apples, but we changed it last minute. I remember that.
And also the trees were supposed to drop like plant food, like so.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, they do, but yeah.
Only if they're destroyed. So and they don't destroy them. So
I see.
Yeah.
so yeah. We also had an issue where we used OnDestroy to spawn flesh and apples. That's apparently a big no-no because when Unity cleans the scene on the stop, they use the OnDestroy to do that. So we ended up with a lot of garbage just collecting because, like
in the scene, there was a lot of like food and stuff because it wiped everything and it dropped food. So in our scene, we had to clean up manually because so calling spawning instantiating stuff on this place not good. But
So we actually solved that by doing like a
we had a separate call.
Custom call.
Yeah.
So we tried to make it kind of sustainable. The trees are also physical, so you can fall over.
Yeah, why the trees are falling over?
Yeah, they're not static. I don't remember the reason. Yeah, because we didn't want to.
When we were spawning them, we had different heights. Like the pivot point was different from different objects.
Quite cool because the trees can knock each other.
Yeah.
But it was just a funny effect to watch. I'm going to say it like that because it didn't affect like the gameplay anyway.
So performance was not our main goal.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
So
how many interacting agents can you cope with? Like how many?
I think we tested it at one point. I don't remember the number, but it starts to chug on my home computer on like a couple of hundred or.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So how do you establish sustainability? How do you measure it? Do you keep track of the amount of trees and the amount of
No, we wanted it to kind of go naturally so the grass was planned to actually spread, and then they could eat the grass too.
Yep.
So it's kind of just half-baked the level.
Right.
Because they don't actually use all the resources.
Yeah.
And they don't kind of proliferate.
Yeah.
So because if you had mating, you could have that if there wasn't a lot of herbivores, they would eat all the grass.
Yeah.
And then the carnivores would kind of take over because there was a lot of herbivores.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because you want to see those fluctuations.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
But we didn't get to that point, so it's kind of just.
And how did you grow trees? What's the growth function you used there?
It's just a general when I make the random floor of everything, I just have a timer on everything, and it just raycasts and checks if there is anything that are like a tree or food or something on top of this tile.
Yeah.
And after a certain while, it would try to spawn either like food or a tree.
So that's kind of constant linear, basically, right?
Yeah.
So you don't accommodate density or things like that, right? So like for example, if there's more trees around it, then the growth rate may actually be reduced because of lack of nutrients and blah 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 and things like that.
Yeah, that would make more sense. And also, we wanted to first have if someone could eat grass and it would become mud, and it would take a while and it would become grass, and now we could spawn a tree again. But we didn't get to that point.
Yeah, that's cool. Another question on the characters, right? You said they were instantiated with different properties, right? Yeah. So like movement speed.
Stats.
So just clarify that one because you have 3 types of entities.
Show you
right?
the stats.
Yeah. It's actually quite interesting. You could link it to NetLogo and then do a simulation again. There's a lot of potential there. Just the framework. Yes, show us the agent.
So in the start phase, it's just random, and we wanted kind of the good stats to kind of mate together.
Yep. But you mentioned that the stereotypes, like the roles or however you want to characterize them, have different properties, right? So is the movement speed, for example, for herbivores different than for carnivores, or is that just
not necessarily?
Right.
And actually, we wanted them to be able to fight if they could.
Yeah.
Because we kind of got to that on the carnivores, so they kind of say, "Oh, I'm hungry. Is there anyone here I could eat?" And they kind of
fight each other.
Yeah, and they fight each other too. But
Good.
they know some properties of their stats, like their what they spawn with, not their actual current stats,
Yeah.
but what they spawn with. So they kind of find out, oh, this guy is way stronger than me, so
Oh,
I
okay.
should flee. But the
Cool.
flee state is kind of just absorbing at the moment. We wanted them to start run,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then kind of just stop and try to find some other prey or
Yeah, yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But right now they just stand there,
Good.
so they actually get eaten by the other.
So they freeze basically.
Yeah,
Right.
they freeze.
Yes.
and it's just the carnivores that got to that point. So
Right.
just the carnivores can get scared.
Right.
The herbivores just
That's
do
good.
whatever
They
they.
flee.
That's good. Naively do follow their pursuits.
So it's
Okay.
kind of just strange to watch them go.
Right.
But yeah, here were the
Yeah.
different types of stats that we had. It was like durability and move speed, and yeah, everyone would have different metabolism and stuff. So it's really
Cool.
More hungry.
yeah.
Right. Okay. So can sorry. Yep.
Yeah, and we kind of we process all the stats and make it to an abstract state enumeration, which we then send
Right.
to the state machine,
Yeah.
and the state machine just route them into the correct state from there.
Nice. Oh, very nice. Very well thought through. Nice. Is there? Did you have this kind of effect of energy that they can die if they don't find food on time?
Yeah, they
So-
actually lose health.
Right. And then when it's zero, then
Yeah, they get killed.
right.
I'm not sure if it might be bugged that when you reach. No, we fixed that. Okay, but
Yeah, they will die.
yeah,
eventually.
we use something from another project, which is a physical object. So collisions kind of calculate their damage, and
Yeah.
we apply it to them.
Yeah.
And when the durability reach zero,
Yeah.
they get destroyed. So
So I mean, sorry for asking many questions. I find really interesting that exercise. So what now? Looking after you have done it and given the objective that you had, you said you want to do AI.
Yeah.
So how much what was the hardest bit and how much AI did you actually do in the end?
the state machine was the hardest because we had to rewrite it like 3 times.
But
Because when you scale it and you don't think about what you're doing, it gets like unreasonable to debug.
Complex, yeah. So how many state machines do you have?
It's just one.
Just one.
Which,
Yeah.
which applies to all the different types.
Yeah.
right.
Which might have been stupid in itself
Yeah.
because it made it harder to actually route things.
Yeah.
correctly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So splitting into multiple independent state
Yeah, we
machines.
should have used the hierarchy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we thought about that like when we were underway as well, because also we can split into so that if you are, if we wanted to have more complex stuff they would do in certain states, like they needed food and stuff,
Yeah.
it would be a lot
Yeah.
easier if like we could split it up and I know that I'm working on the hungry state machine and he's gonna do this and this and this.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
instead we were like working on the same state machine.
Yeah.
So yeah, it got a bit, yeah, it worked out, I guess.
Right.
But at least you kind of understand how to use the state machine and what is it good for and how to hierarchically split it.
Yeah, we learned a lot
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
So if, let's say you have a simulation with 200 things, it runs,
Yeah.
but you want to have like a fast forward button. Would it
Yeah.
be possible to do that? Like how fast can you go?
I'm not sure if you could because some things are in the update loop,
Yeah.
which would make. I mean, maybe it would just work because it's not. It just checks for things in the update loop and stuff, and it would still work fine. I think maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, because you tying things to the update loop and you're tying things to time, right? So if you want to have like a fast forward, you say, I want to see how this terrain
that-
looks like in 2 months' time, but I don't want to wait 2 months. I want the
Yeah, you
clock to run much faster now.
You would be able to skip lifetime, I think. Like speeding up the delta time. would be
Exactly,
fine,
yeah.
I
So,
think.
so you have to have some sort of a parameter, which is sort of like this time which we
Yeah.
use in Unity,
Yeah.
which you can control. You want to jump to this time now, right?
Yeah,
And
you
everything
can jump.
should,
I
yeah.
don't think you could jump. that would require something else.
Exactly, because
Yes.
of the state transitions and so on,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So there are some things you have to actually run, but
Yeah.
you don't have to wait for the animations and you don't have to wait for certain timers. You just say, okay, wow, what's the next state? What's the next state? What's
Yeah.
the next state?
Yeah.
Right?
When I'm thinking about it, it would break the physical objects
Yeah.
because this actual speed would be different,
Yeah.
creating more damage and stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, cool.
Oh, okay.
Saved. Huh? Yeah, it's fine. Bit more stable, please.
Kind of got stuck here.
What do you mean? No, it's fine. Don't just keep it. Just hold it. Physics. All right.
Okay.
All right.
So yeah, my solo jump.
Number 3.
What I wanted to do was to I wanted to integrate Twitch, so like chats could interact or something. I didn't know exactly at first, but I ended up with something that people can like join in and play. I'll show here. So it runs. I also need a chat. So. So yeah, so people would just like write enter, and you would go into a queue to join in, and it's basically how it was a bit like it kind of inspired by like some just simple hero line wars from StarCraft 2 or Warcraft. So you like I had some initial thoughts that people would like get amount of gold and they could spawn stuff on each side, and it would be like 2 teams against each other. But for now, it's just that people have like one hero. It's only this character type now, but I wanted more, of course, so people could be like ranged and stand behind and shoot and stuff. And yeah, and then like if you got kills or if you won, you would get a certain amount of gold. So after time, you could like do upgrades and stuff. Yeah, actually that one will come in Whisper. So, but yeah, so I could do, for example, upgrade L, but I would get the response in Whispers, and also made it so you could talk to the bot in Whispers and everything. For example, this one could help. Yeah. So, I guess that was like the initial thought, but yeah, it's just basically mashing against each other, and they could also help and change characters and stuff. I wanted it to be like that people could have effects and stuff that they would have in cooldown, so they could like interact more in the chat. But yeah, I didn't get to that point, so. But yeah, mostly I just wanted to try and see how it would be like to integrate Twitch in any game, and it was actually fairly simple, kind of, except for the client. I didn't know why, but I added the code, of course, and it's an async process. It's a TCP client, and it receives packets. So I had some issues. I thought it was something wrong with the code all along, but it was I wrote a comment, for example, or some code, and I came back, and all of a sudden the client was null and everything was broken. So, but of course it was just because of the async process. So while it was running, it was no issue actually. But yeah, it was pretty simple. Twitch had this peer channel that you connect to, and they have their own kind of API there, not like a standard Mirk thing. But yeah, it was fairly simple to get into the commands and stuff.
So how do you define the commands? Like you have a bot?
Yeah, I have one like Twitch client class that just takes care of everything in terms of, for example, every 5 minutes the server would send me a ping just to make sure that the client is not AFK or anything because they don't want redundant clients connected. Yeah, so then you'd have to respond in a certain way and stuff. But also I would have these commands that I could for like receiving messages, and I would send them. I would send them to a class that was like this arena manager. So when someone wrote a command, I would parse it further, and then that would handle that.
Okay.
And also that when you like wrote answers to people, that could also be done from there, either a whisper or in the main chat. Yeah. So yeah, that's basically it. It was not like
So what else? So you can send. So you have on the Twitch side, the connection is established from your game to the Twitch, and you can read the comments and you can send a comment to the chat.
Yeah,
window,
you
right?
have a
What else can you do?
a stream writer and a stream reader.
Yeah.
That just parse and gets data.
Yeah.
But yeah, like for now, you mean the commands, like what you can do, or with the Twitch connection?
Yeah, with the Twitch connection.
With the Twitch connection. Okay. You could receive some data about people being there and stuff, but mostly it's like just when there is something either sent in a whisper to the bot or in the exact channel that you're in, you will get a string of data.
Yeah.
And you could read it right there and then.
Right.
So
that's pretty much it, right?
that's pretty much it. Yeah. So it's not. You could probably make it so it connect to more channels and stuff. But I only needed it for one channel first because it was supposed to be like a Twitch place, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Any other questions? No. Oh, questions? You guys.
Questions.
Oh, cool. All right. Cheers.
Thank you.
Next group. Wow, a lot of street jams there, right? So, in all directions. Networking, Twitch,
Yeah.
AI. Cool.
How many more do we have?
Is there any other group that wants to present or has to present? No, not you guys? You're just waiting for your audio cable, right? Those guys? Nope. And does anyone of you want to present a game jam or something? No, just kidding. Cool.
We just have a last presentation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we both had each our solo hackathons, but we initially had like an app ID a long time ago, like last year. So we wanted to work on this and get it done. So we did it like I did the backend as a solo hackathon, he did the front end. He picked it up like a couple of weeks ago and started tinkering with the design. So he finished the design and I made like the whole backend in hackathons. Yeah. So yeah. So we hope to have it done.
Yeah, so our app is basically a jukebox at parties, which is something we've been wanting for a long time, because we find it kind of like inefficient that people always have to have a one phone at parties and everyone have to go up to it and queue songs. So if you'd like to come along with this demo, you can. The link is right there. You have to enable yourself to allow for an APKs if you want, or we have two phones here, so it's not really a necessity. So are there anyone that want to join, or?
I don't have a phone with me.
I've forgotten my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to?
We'll see.
Okay, now
Should
I'll
try.
just let it pass a few minutes.
Yeah.
So we'll just create a party here real quick. We'll call it rapid, really. Should be okay, and then Morten has to.
So basically what happens is that you can create parties, and the host of course has to log into Spotify. And then other people can join the same party, and then they can queue songs. Yeah. So if you join the same party and queue some songs.
Yeah, and it will open the for now for this hackathon. It just opens the app or opens Spotify on its phone, because the Spotify API is a little.
Yeah, so we had some problems with the Spotify API because it's not really mature enough for some things we want to do in the app. So for example, the way it detects your available devices is really bad. It just is really.
It uses your active.
Yeah,
so if it's in the background on your phone, you won't be able to do anything.
Yeah, so in most cases it won't actually work. Yeah, if you're not playing a song in the background and stuff like that. So the only way we can ensure that it works 100% is if you force Spotify to open and then run the stuff.
Yeah. So what would be really cool now is that if Nikolai here could, do you have it installed?
I'm on my way.
All right.
Or you can just use it.
Yeah, but I want to see it on his phone because we're using sockets on it, so it will happen instantaneously on his side, which will be really cool.
How big is that?
20 megabytes. I
Okay.
think, something.
You can just check yes.
Yeah.
I had some issues with protect.
It's okay.
No problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just.
So it uses the Spotify API to
Yeah,
search.
sure. So if you,
so I can show it as well if you search for like.
So I just I searched for One Republic. We have a search interface
So
there.
it just goes like this. It just uses Spotify API.
Yeah,
to
so
search
I'm
for
queuing a
songs.
song right now. I'm queuing it here, and it will open Spotify in here.
And then it starts playing on my phone since I'm the host. And then it shows up here in the queue as playing. So that is it taps out to Spotify because that is the best way we can make it play at once. But if I also queue another song, some more songs, they come up like a Tinder stack. Where you can vote for cars. So everyone in the party queues songs, and then they can vote for songs.
Nice, very
So
nice.
if
Yeah,
I vote everything down, it will see its source
Yeah.
in real time.
So I too can vote now. So if I queue up there, it happens, and that one down, and yeah.
So basically,
So it orders them based on the votes people did.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And
So-
then everything happens real time because we just use sockets.
Yeah.
So on the backend, I made a backend in Node.js because that's what I like to do, and I use Koa just to try to learn that, and MongoDB and Mongoose and all that.
Yeah.
So and then we used the socket.io to do sockets, and we made everything happen like real time. So we join a room and you create a playlist on your Spotify account, and you delete it when the party is done. And
And the front end uses React Native. It was a framework that we learned kind of off-road of the curriculum the first semester. And we find that that's our go-to language for rapid prototyping because it's so easy to make apps with it. And this app is cross-platform, so we have one code base and it's with both iOS and Android. Even though the layout's a little different, so you have to have small changes, but it's better than having two code bases for each platform.
And also, in addition, we wanted to sort with your Spotify queue in the first place because now we have to create a playlist and we sort it by deleting every song in the playlist when you sort the songs and then adding them back into it again. Because there's no Spotify API to queue up songs in your queue and manipulate the queue for a user. So that would be the best case scenario for us, but we can't do it yet. I think it's coming on the roadmap.
Yeah, it's
There's like a few things that we have problems with Spotify, but we have workarounds for the most part.
So right now we're using a playlist. We just make a playlist and we rearrange the playlist based on the queue, and we pop the song that was played.
So,
to the previous,
so on my Spotify
which is
account,
kind of
there's a
broken
playlist.
system since there's multiple ways you can fuck it up. But so yeah, that we just made. And this playlist is of course deleted when you exit the party. So if if I leave the party as the host, the party will be deleted and he will be kicked out. and I'll be kicked out.
Oh yeah.
So there's no error messages or some
We're missing
exactly
that
for
sometimes.
something, so it's not really that robust, but it's a proof of concept really, and we intend to work on it.
Nice.
Looks pretty
Cool.
good. Yeah.
Really solid.
That's it.
Yep.
Oh.
And digging into some of the bugs of the Spotify API.
Yeah, they have a public API and it's fairly simple to navigate it, even though it was fairly limited a year ago, but they have added some playback features now. But
And there are also some steps which are a bit complicated. So when you do the authentication, he has to open a web view on the front end, send a redirect URL to Spotify, which then pings the backend, which then sends another redirect URL to another place, and then goes back live. And then I get like a access token and a refresh token to Spotify, and then I can refresh the tokens
And before that, I have to get a token because it's the context token, so he knows who's logging in, right? So
And then after that, initializing all the sockets and get everything working there is
So the user who is using it, I mean, one of you is the one logged into Spotify and runs the Spotify.
Right. Yeah, so only the host has to actually be logged into Spotify.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but we intend to with the track search. We don't require it doesn't require a token, right, to search songs.
Right.
We intend to have the functionality to use songs from your library because we find it kind of meh to remember songs and go into Spotify app to find the songs that we want to queue, right?
Yeah. You should sort of have some caching or some list on the client, so for quick lookups. Yeah.
And we also have thought of authenticating, like people just join the parties as well, so that they can queue songs from their own libraries.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, pretty cool. I think you should keep the queuing on the local device because you're independent of any changes the Spotify will do to the queuing API they might have. Because then you're kind of in control of, and you only use the just play the song. Like you try to make the interface to Spotify from your end as simple as possible, so they cannot mess it up. Because every time they change something, you kind of screwed. Like you have to update your app. So if you keep the list management and so on your side,
I think we
and only keep like you, exactly, like you're having now. So even if they introduce like a good list management, I think you should still keep it locally on your system.
And we do everything on our system. Right?
And just minimum amount of like browsing and playing a song, which you have to use from them. Because they will be changing the API, and then every change they make, you have to update, right? So,
But we're really looking forward to the Q API because then you can play a playlist in the background, a generic playlist, and then people can do songs on top of that.
That's right.
Because right now, if the playlist runs out,
nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So there should be a fallback.
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Pretty impressive.
Awesome. Yeah.
Pretty impressive. That's a true prototype.
Yeah.
Any questions from you guys?
Would you use it?
It's cool.
Yeah. Perfect.
Cool.
All right. Thank you very much.
If you write the reports, remember put some screenshots in there. That probably is helpful because
Christopher, where should put the reports?
should link it on the wiki. That's easy. So we all have it all in one place. Wiki? We have a wiki, post wiki.
I didn't know that.
Now you do.
Yeah, that's why I asked Chris.